Hello there, I am Harbleu, bringing you another Vancouver Titans match. Oh my goodness. This feels so much better coming off of a win than coming off of losses. This is an entirely different experience. We'll talk about Friday's win a little bit here. Let me quickly do roster rundown super fast. I'm sure players know who they are. On tank, we got Changsik, who was playing a ton of Hammond on Friday. I would definitely like to see more of that. Looked like he was having a pretty good impact on it. And then Fried Wiener, as always. DPS, it looks like Teru is going to be starting, so it's going to be Teru and Dalton starting. I expect to see Linkser in at some point, based off the maps. I think on Route 66, you'll probably see him there. It sounds like they're running Teru in these Pharah Mei situations, which have been by far his best picks. That and Genji, and Echo. Really, almost every pick Teru's good on, but it's kind of a hit scan meta right now. But he's starting on Nepal. And then on support, as always, Rolf and Fire. And then we got Washington Justice, who they're against, who have lost 3 matches in a row, 0-3. If you would have asked me, before this split started, who should win this match, based off of, talent alone, any day of the week it should be Washington. Washington's roster is so talented, and they've definitely been underperforming, which I think has been taking a toll on the players. When you're a player on a team like that, and you know you're supposed to be one of the favorites, and you know how good you are, and you've lost 3 matches in a row that really weren't even close, it can be hard to dig yourself out of that hole. And that's really been the story of the Vancouver Titans season. Not that they necessarily have the same level of talent as a team like Washington, but at least for me personally, I knew this team had more talent than their record reflected. I think them having a roster change in the middle of the season might have tossed them off a little bit, and also just having to get chemistry as a whole. But their 3-0 win against Boston was extremely good. That was some of the most impressive Overwatch I've seen them played all season. Well, really it was. That was a good 3-0. So I'm excited to see this one. Based off of their recent performances, I think some people would actually almost say Vancouver's favored going into it. But we'll get to predictions and stuff later. Let's get to the keys of the game here first, presented by Best Buy and Intel. Number 1, force Bebe into duels, divert the focus from healing. Pretty much that. If you can put support or put pressure on them to make it so they can't really focus on healing, then obviously, the rest of the team can't get healed and they're going to get run over. 2, don't allow Decay to isolate the backline. Easier said than done. Decay is obviously one of the best DPS out there, but Decay is also kind of prone to tilting, and knowing, again, that their team hasn't been playing great lately, who knows what Decay we're going to see there. But, again, if they can, focus on just preventing them from going off, that can open up room for the tanks and the rest of the team. And number 3, create space for the DPS to push past the tank line. Pretty much, with the comps that Vancouver was running, they were running a pretty heavy dive comp, it seemed like, with the Hammond. So I expect to see more Changsik Hammond. Maybe not permanently, but if he's on the Hammond, he's going to be creating that space to try and open up room for Dalton and Teru. So those are the keys to the game. Again, presented by Best Buy and Intel. 2, we'll get to behind the numbers here. Why not? We'll go right into that. We got Fried Wiener, who had a great performance on Friday also. We got 485,000 damage blocked. A lot of that's going to be on the D.Va and Sigma. Those 2 heroes just eat up damage, so good work, Fried Wiener. And he's got 312 ults. Those are, again, probably a lot of D.Va bombs, some Sigma ults. Quite a bit used there. And then also almost 300k damage as an off-tank player. Not bad at all. And that is powered by Sportsnet. Almost forgot to plug the sponsor there. And then finally, as always, we got the pizza breadstick board makes a return. The same board as Friday that was finally completed. I fully expect to see this completed again today. I think the board pieces are very favorable to completing it. So I fully expect by the end of map 2, people can get their breadsticks if they want them. But that's all the plugs we have there. Cool, but like I said, if you would have asked me before this split started, who would I have going into it as a favorite? Easily Washington Justice. Their team has so much talent on it, and to see them coming off a 3-game losing streak into this match is very surprising. And really, I guess it was good teams they played against, but the fact that they couldn't take a map off of Toronto is pretty weird to see for them. So I could You know what? I'm gonna say I'm gonna see Vancouver taking this match also. I think when they played Washington earlier in the season, it was 3-1 and it was relatively close, and that's when Vancouver was doing a lot worse. So I can see them say I don't think it's gonna be 3-0 again. I think that Boston performance was a combination of Vancouver having like one of their best matches and also Boston definitely playing worse than normal. So I don't see another 3-0, but I'll say 3-1. I think Vancouver will take it pretty dominantly still. I think they'll look good, but I think I could easily see it going the other way. I could easily see Washington just getting their act together and coming out strong and showing why they were predicted to be a top team at the start of the season. But hopefully that's not the case. Obviously, this is the Vancouver Titans stream. We're here for the Titans, but it should be a good one. First map we have is Nepal. So I could, and like I said, Tiru's starting, so I'm curious to see if he's going to start on like the May or the Farah. Because if you get something like Village, I think Farah is a great pick there, but May's also quite good there. And then on the other points, I feel like you might see him back on Echo or something, or Farah even then. I'm curious to see what Teru runs. It's pretty much going to be the Teru show again, and seeing what pick he plays and how the team plays around that. But other than that, that's really most of the stuff I had to start it with. I again, am very excited talking about this, the fact that we finally have a win under our belts here, and it's not me just trying to hype up the team knowing that they've yet to win a match. They officially are no longer winless and looked really great on Friday. And thank you there, John Peterson. So really, I don't have much more to say going into this. Like I said, Washington has not looked that great, and Vancouver looked great in their match on Friday. So I fully expect Vancouver to come out strong and try and keep that momentum carried over and try and keep Washington in that bad mental place that I know their players must be in. But we'll see on Nepal. So I will be back after that. It looks like, actually, how much time are we looking at here? I see them on the desk there. Maybe we'll just chat with chat here a little bit. So if you guys have any questions or want to be like, hey, Harb, you look really good, then feel free to type that. Here's my prediction for player of the match. Well, on Friday, Dalton absolutely popped off. Dalton that was one of the best Tracer performances I've seen all season. And that's not just saying like Vancouver. That's saying like any Tracers out there. The amount of like pulse bombs he got onto the Brig to like either cancel her rally or just kill her early in fights was insane. So I fully expected to beat Dalton again, but Teru on Hanamura also looked really good on the Farah, and Nepal is a good Farah map. Even though teams don't run Farah there that often, on a couple of the points there, Village and then Shrine, Farah can be very good, so I expect them to see him on that on those points. You think Fried, Wiener, and Chengsa will come with hugely? There were multiple times on the match on Friday where in my mind, I was like, Chainsick, what are you doing on Hammond still? Why are you not on Orisa? And every time he proved me wrong. And I've been at the exact same position in ranked so many times where you're like, okay, I know I can make Hammond work here. I might have just had 2 or 3 bad deaths in a row, but I know I can make this work. And I feel like that's probably what he was thinking. And it's different in like pro play where your teammates are going to trust each other. I'm sure no one was thinking that when Chengzik had a couple of those deaths, but he ended up making it work, even against the Sombra comp and everything, and that's one of the hardest comps to make ball work into. So I expect him to be playing some Orisa again at some point, but it definitely looked like Vancouver was favoring running those Heyman comps, so I expect to see that again. But, let's see. Yeah, I'll be honest, I got not much else to say about it other than what I've touched on, so I think it looks like they're probably going to be starting soon. We might just toss it to a graphic here, and I will be back after Nepal to be able to touch on it and break it down more, but I will be back after the first map, and I will see you all then.
That's it. Das isn't even halfway up.
Great. trying to get to the back line. What a stick!
That's crazy, they make it work! The Blade, he's got to turn it around. One slice goes through, two as well.
Blade, you're out of your mind, Teru. Three from Teru. Immortality still making four. No, Nano Boost from 5 kills. Teru, are you kidding?
And I don't mean his teammate. I mean the emotion. You are
This time around, he's dealing with fried wiener, not Michelle, okay? Michelle is known for negating a lot of ultimates. He's dealing with fried wiener here. Surely, he'll have a better chance tonight.
Maybe
there are
this is fried wiener's tournament.
There are better people to fire shots at.
Yeah.
There are better people to fire shots at than Fried. Fried has been good before. He's played in like the Atlanta Reign when they were actually doing well. Like he's a pretty decent player.
All right, I want to get this game underway. Thank you very much, Desk, as well. I think we've set the scene excellently. You can stick to your copium. I'll stick to lovely bread carbohydrates, because that's what I'm feeling. You know, Josh, after this match, have a nice dinner. Purely just bread, carbohydrates only, not nutritious whatsoever. You know, kind of like the dietary needs of maybe like a peasant back in the 1400s. But I'm going to be living off of that from this match right here, because I have a lot of faith in the Vancouver Titans. They've been looking pretty good, honestly. The meta that's kind of revolving around the Wrecking Ball and Tracer in particular has highlighted, I think, the strengths of this roster, and they've started to come alive at the tail end of it, especially when this always happens, Josh. How many times have we seen, both in sports and in esports as well, collectively, when a team has really nothing to play for, when they're out of the kind of the overall picture of the playoffs, they always just seem to play better. The weight and responsibility and pressure gets taken off of them a little bit, and they start to come alive. This is, I think, what we're witnessing here from the Vancouver Titans.
It happened last year with, or rather, I mean, the most notable example, actually, is the Washington Justice of 2019, when they just came alive in Stage 4. And I feel like we're seeing some level of that from the Vancouver Titans, especially with Dalton. Dalton's Tracer looked really good for them in their previous match, and it was enough to get them over the line and gave them a good win. Now, that wasn't against the most dangerous team in the world, though, Brent. We can't get whiplash from Vancouver here. They've been all right, but they haven't played against somebody that's had excellent results before. The problem is their opponents today flip-flop between being a team that can contest the best to a team that just is dreadful at various times throughout this season. The Washington Justice have been one of the most inconsistent teams we've had in the West. They sit in the middle of the pack, but that's not because they've just always been performing as some kind of gatekeeper team. Their level of consistency wildly oscillates depending on the kind of read they have on the meta, I think, and how prepared they are coming into the matches. This is anyone's game. I really do believe that. I think that the Justice could end up winning this series despite having not won a map so far in the Countdown Cup, or the Titans might just continue to wipe the floor. It all comes down to what the Justice bring to the table for me. The potential for this team, the ceiling for this team is so much higher than what they've demonstrated recently. We all know it. We've seen it before this season, and it just makes it tragic to watch and witness.
Yeah, and I do feel some slight regret from my comment of calling the Washington Justice abysmal, but it's only because I have very high heights set for them. I want to see this team really perform at the highest level. We haven't been seeing that so far in the Countdown Cup. Today, right here, right now, it's a good opportunity to try and turn things around against the Vancouver Titans, a team that's 1-12, only got their first win the other day, and we're heading to Nepal. I want to see something from the Washington Justice. I want to see some initiative being taken as well, when they've just been so slow to react most of the time.
Brent, the Washington Justice are dead even in terms of their map differential this season. They're 26-26. They're currently on a 9-map loss streak. So they were clearly doing well before this. You know, they were 8-4, and they had a +9 map differential. So this team has been able to do things, and it's not that they have a rougher strength of schedule right now. They haven't always been this bad. Their own form is poor, and when it's based on form, that can oscillate on a day-to-day basis. They might just turn up today and have figured something out. God.
That's an absurd statistic that the Washington Justice have never lost to the Titans. 4-0. That was when the Titans, back in 2019, when they were just dominant.
Well, in 2019, they played against the Justice when Justice were in stage 4, and they had Corey on Hanzo that was just dunking on people.
Yeah, it's a great point. The match has already begun, by the way. The teams, straight away, you can see Mag taking a ton of damage there. Teru on the Farah is being enabled in this role. Points still waiting to be unchecked right now. Unlocked. Bit of capture going for him. Assassin looking for an opportunity here. Chansek actually taking a little bit too much damage there. Wasn't really the coordination on play, but they're just going to stop this cap from going anyway now. The damage coming across the point. Teru just needs to hunt for a couple of these rockets, but it is the Washington Justice who are going to get this first capture.
An Assassin playing towards the front line, looking for damage onto Chansek. I think that's absolutely the right play. The more that Assassin tries to pressure the back lines, I think the less he's going to get done. I want to see him as Sombra up there, pocketed in the front lines, putting pressure on Chansek and Fry.
Boss one's going to be a good stick there. The hack onto Fry Wiener as well means can't really escape from it. Chansek taking a bit of damage. But the DMAC onto Fried, it's a great opportunity for the Justice to really just win out this team fight, but they're struggling to really find the way that they want to actually approach this one now. In fact, the Vancouver Titans have been given a bit of an in. Dalton lays down that pulse bomb. Hack onto Terry with the nano boost means he can't really do too much, but he's going to get the rockets in. 8 up from the side. That's Fury. Great presence of mind, but Decay ends up falling anyway. 41% and counting. Fire and Chansek now going down. The Washington Justice investing ultimates to try and stall this team fight out, but eventually win it.
Nano being applied to Fury there turns him into a devastating force. Getting through onto Rolf as well, having already picked up 2-3 kills in that team fight. Just keeps the momentum going for the Justice. They're not finding enough value from the Farah. Look at Teru's ult charge. He's only just getting up to his first barrage now. He's just not finding those targets, not putting pressure on the back line. An Assassin at any point here could use EMP. The EMPs recently from Assassin have been god-awful. But I think today's the day, Brent. He goes back to his former glory.
Oh, he's lining it up. He's lining it up. Yeah, here we go. Translocator up into the sky. That's the Fire Mercy locked down. Gonna be targeting Fire. Take him out. Dalton with the 2-piece. Okay, already checked one off the board. There we go. Breadsticks online almost. We're getting off to a great start here. Dalton potentially turning this team fight around as well. The Justice still holding on to it, 95%. Gotta try and get this cap going though if the Vancouver Titans want to just hold on in this round. Rolf ends up falling. The barrage from Terror getting eaten up. That's Fury just with great defensive matrix management and tracking. They are going to flip this over and get the res off onto Rolf with the nano boost online. You can see he's considering investing it. There we go. Finally, Terror is going to be the recipient. They need to get some picks though. Again, Fury just eating up so many of these rockets, and Terror's really not getting enough done for it.
No, he's just not finding the shots. He's not applying pressure to the backline. Dalton got 2 kills. The backline was dead. Bebe and Tuba were not in this team fight. And yet the Justice have been able to delay it out, stretch it out, and find huge value from Decay. No one is shutting this guy down.
Dalton with a horse bomb in hand. He needs to find something else here. You can see Fury just marking him the entire time. It's so difficult to try and get a good pulse bomb target off of this. The overtime's going to start burning down now. Mag with the mines, won't even need it most likely. Just going to probably lay them down at a choke point to stop them from approaching. It's going to be the round going here to the Washington Justice.
And it's one-sided. The Justice never really looked like they were having an issue. One of our themes when the Justice played against the Toronto Defiant was that the Justice struggled when they were trying to retake the objective. When they were forced to be the initiators and try and get back in control. So if Titans can win this first fight over Sanctum, they've set themselves up for a great opportunity. I'm concerned though that they're not going towards this Arisicon. They're going to continue to try and play around the Farah. And unless Dalton's going to pick up a long-range hit scan. If Dalton goes towards Hanzo, or maybe something else that can apply a lot of pressure from far away, like a Soldier 76, then maybe the Titans will be fine. Okay, he picks up the Soldier. Yeah, this comp looks like it'll be all right, but Chansek will, I think, struggle to do too much. Just aiming to roll through them, or maybe just apply objective pressure.
Terra's got to try and land some of these rockets as well. It's the crux of the strategy, honestly, is just trying to play off of the back of the rockets that come through. That is Fried Winner off the map, I believe. No, well, taken out anyway. Yeah, bit of an ignore going on there, but now we see the sleep dart as well onto Mag. Still, the way this team fight has gone, it's the Justice in control already with that one map lead. They're unable to get rid of Terra when he's playing out of this range. Lovely shots from Assassin. Multiple on target, but not enough to get the kill. Still enough to buy a bit of space and eventually flip the point in their control.
Decay is going to be harassing Dalton. You can see Assassin moving around the side here, but as Dalton gets off angles, he's going to be trying to take 1v1s against Decay's Tracer. I don't know who I would favor there. Probably Decay, even with the Biotic field.
Yeah, the Titans really finding it hard to just get in position to try and set anything up here. Chansik on the Wrecking Ball is being marked the entire time. They have so much damage that's coming his way. Dalton on the side here. Might try and set up for the power driver. Comes down. Is there anything to try and synchronize it up? Almost getting pushed out of position there. Rolf ends up falling in the end. The Nano Boost comes down, but the shield blocking out. You can see the Deadeye just being channeled up there. That's fire going down. And again, the point just to hammer home here. As much as I was talking smack on the Washington Justice, if they're in control of the point, they look good.
They do, yeah. That was a big thing that we've noticed from them recently. Even though they've been losing all of these maps, defensively, they've still looked fairly decent. That hasn't applied to every single map and every single team fight, but as a general theme, it's held fairly true. And so the Titans, all of the pressure is on them right now. They've got to disrupt the Titan. Oh, hello. That's a good first pick. But they are also pushing into Mag's Supercharger.
Yeah, not ideal. Still, Assassin falls as well. That's both the DPS gone. Decay's obviously on the Tracer, going to be coming back in. Mag now using that Supercharger. Terra just needs to try and stay alive. The momentum carries him away, out of range of the Halt. Mag still, absolute raid boss here, just trying to survive. The Matrix comes through as well. That's the damage. Bebe just peppering in the shots. Rolf falling means no more heals for them. 90% and counting. It's been a bit of a dismal effort here from the Vancouver Titans, just trying to get into the point in the first place. And it's going to be really a lost cause. Going out with a bit of a whimper there. Washington Justice with a dominant first map in terms of just not even letting the Vancouver Titans in for an attack.
Yeah, nothing in the tank there for the Titans. They've got to hit the drawing board in between map 1 and 2 and figure out what they want to do there. The Farah play from Teru was not cutting the mustard.
Yeah, an unfortunate series of events from the Vancouver Titans. Definitely not the same Titans as well that we saw from the other day here. The Justice, though, coming out obviously with something to prove big time. They want to be trying to get this win here today. A bit of an embarrassment to the franchise if they ended up losing it, so definitely pulling out all the stops. Going to go to a short break. On the other side of things, we'll see if the Vancouver Titans can return with one map of their own.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Team.
Well, not a good map. Definitely not the way that Vancouver would have wanted to start this match. But it's only one map. But really, the issues that I thought might happen finally ended up happening. So right there, Chain 6 Hammond, I don't think got almost any value on that map. Which is not, that's, dude, no fault to him. That's, but trying to play Hammond against like that comp with the lineup they were running, it's very, very hard to get value from it. Especially on Nepal, where the map's pretty like cramped. It can be hard to really get space to roll around on it. But it definitely looks like it's the comp that Vancouver wants to stick with. And obviously, they won 3-0 on Friday, so I can understand that. Now, if they lose next map the same way, then I would say probably switch it up. But, you know, dropping one map like that, it's not that big of a deal. And also, I think Teru just needed to get more value on the Farah there, especially on the first point. When I think they were running Sombra Tracer, they had like no hit scan to deal with the Farah. And you just have to get, like, the fact that you have a Mercy Pocket the entire time, you need to be starting to farm on it in order to get value on that. Otherwise, you're pretty much just wasting two players. So both of those definitely were not, like, I would say the big two reasons they lost that map. Because really everything else plays around those two heroes. Normally the Farah is the one churning out the damage. Once she gets a few good rockets, the team will normally follow up. Same with like the Hammond normally goes in with the first engage, but neither of them were really able to make much space. So Dalton had some more good pulse bombs like always. I saw he already got the double pulse bomb. I don't know how he's so consistent with them. I find pulse bomb to be one of the harder abilities to use, but, you know, I guess that's why Dalton's an Owl Tracer. Although, you know, I got GM on DPS recently too, so not trying to brag or anything here. But going into Route 66, I believe is next map. Going to Route 66, I would expect to see Linkser back in. From what I've heard, it sounds like Teru has been mostly a Pharah Mei, like in most of the maps he's been playing on. And I don't think either of those two heroes are really that good on Route 66. So I fully expect to see Linkser back in and expect to see some sort of Tracer Sombra comp, maybe Tracer McCree. So something like that I would expect to see on Route 66. And really, Hammond on Route 66 is much better. I just talked about how Changsik didn't really get much value on Nepal on it, but Route 66, it's really easy to get good engages on Hammond. So I think if they stick with that strategy, I would like to see how they get it here on Route, because really, that Nepal was not competitive at all. That looked like old Vancouver and old Washington also. And I don't think the rest of the set's going to go the way that first map did. I think that one, Vancouver will be able to put it behind them and do more on Route 66, but definitely not the map they wanted to start on. But, you know, that's caught for you. You lose first fight, and sometimes it can be very hard to retake the point. And I'm still concerned about the Hammond pick, even though it worked great on Friday. I feel like he's so easily counterable at Owl level. And also I've heard that just Changsik didn't really learn Hammond much until recently. Obviously he had a great performance on it on Friday, but Hammond is still one of those heroes where sometimes there's so many small little intricacies on the hero that if you don't have hundreds of hours on him, it can be hard to know how to do every single rollout on him. But he's looked good on it, so I'm looking forward to Route 66 here. It looks like the countdown timer is just about to finish up here, but I will be back after Route, hopefully with a 1-1 tie, and hopefully also with the breadsticks being completed. I said I expected to see them done after the second map. We already had the pulse bomb, so I think we just need one more thing to be able to complete that one. So we will see after this, and I will be back.
Titans, because frankly it was a bit of a poor effort against the Washington Justice. Still definitely looking like a pretty good team. Seen some substitutions being made as well, as Terror is going to be out, Linkser in, which opens up a couple of more opportunities for the Vancouver Titans here as we're heading on to our next map.
Incredibly important first map though for the Justice. That gets them on the board after a drought. That's 3 matches in a row where they haven't been able to take even a single map. 10-map loss streak on a row would have been devastating for the Justice, so their morale must be starting to improve at the very least, having secured Nepal really without a fight, no challenge. On the flip side though, if you're a Vancouver Titans fan, it has been 16 hungry, starving weeks without carbohydrates, an enforced keto diet for all Canadians, and there's the serious potential here of back-to-back breadsticks. All we need to see is a pile driver elimination from Changsik, so it's not all over.
I was taking a look at it. Josh. Pile driver elim will secure it.
That's not
That's
bad.
what they're looking
He's starting
for.
on the ball. He's starting on the ball.
Do you think they tailor their strategies around that?
If I had to guess, probably not. But you never know. When you're 0-12, perhaps you need to search for inspiration in creative directions.
Weird spaces,
Yeah, weird places for sure.
So if that was replaced, that square was replaced with a nano blade kill, we'd be seeing them.
Oh yeah, we'd be seeing Linkser on Genji right now.
Ah, okay, okay.
I mean, this map is quintessentially Ball's End map. We haven't really seen other teams succeed with too much else. We've seen teams try to do it, but it definitely feels like the meta right now is favoring Ball's End. Tracer Sombra kind of compositions, and that's what we're going to see in a mirror. The Vancouver Titans were good when they played recently against the Boston Uprising, but Boston were running a lot of the Orisa comps, and Titans were charging past them and rolling them over. This is a much more fair mirror matchup. Dalton's got his work cut out trying to keep Decay in check.
Link's almost going off the map there. Dalton really does have a hard task ahead of him, honestly, against Decay. A fired up Decay, nevertheless, as well. The guy was doing so much in the series the other day, only for it to be largely inevitable as they were tracking him down constantly, just marking him. He's fired up. He wants to prove himself. He wants to really just take this game under control. Chansik as well, just trying to get out of there. That's the pile driver coming through, but the damage... Decay having to use that recall. The hack almost coming out onto him. He could see it coming, but look at that tracking. Fried Wiener out of the mech did not stand a chance. Linksa might be next. Translocated just to get out of there, but already the damage is done. Dalton with the stick to try and turn things around onto Bebe. That's quite nice, but Decay with the beat down anyway. Shuts him down, in fact, make it a two-piece. He might want even more, just trying to zip and zoop up onto the high ground, right onto the support line. Knows not to overstep himself, just going to be backing off to the rest of his team. The damage is done, they can't contest.
82% on Lynx's EMP is going to be a crucial element for them to be able to get back in if they want to touch. I thought Changsik was going for that.
Yeah.
Maybe he did too, but they decide not. 5 minutes in the time bank, and that was all set up from a bad engage from the Titans. They went for it with Changsik pile driving, Fried going in, but there was no follow-up. Dalton and Linksa were not in position. It's such a positional meta right now. You have to set up for dives before you go for them. You can't rush things. Otherwise, your backline isn't in the right position. They don't have harmonies and Discord orbs on the right targets. Your DPS haven't been set up.
Yeah, and it feels like to me,
meta.
it feels like the Vancouver Titans just aren't used to setting up team fights against similar compositions. When they're playing against things like the Orisa, it's pretty easy to know what your target is. It's generally playing against stationary comps. Dalton getting taken out by Bebe is less than ideal. Dalton is really the player that you're looking for to create these openings, and Transcendence is used by Rolf.
He just got spooked by Assassin, I think. We didn't catch it on camera, but that's the only reason you use a panic trance like that. Assassin's coming back in for round 2.
There's the Assassin EMP. This time it's quite good, but the peel is there. It's onto a bunch of targets. Rolf eventually starting to, heal back up here. There is no follow-up for them. The Vancouver Titans, they peel effectively. Now the rally re-engage comes out. The Justice were not ready for that EMP. It was a good one as well. Assassin caught it onto the backline, but they just couldn't collect the kill. Still, Dalton gets that armor pack. Used against him, in fact. It was Decay who received it. Excuse me.
There's another one of the classic use EMP, immediately lose the team fight afterwards, because no one was ready to follow up. It looks like...
Is that on the breadstick chart?
I don't think it's on the breadstick chart, no. But Assassin uses his EMP there because he knows the Transcendence has been forced. He has a good opportunity to get onto both players in the backline. But like I'm saying, Brad, you need your team to be ready to follow up on it. Otherwise, it's not a good EMP. It's a bad one. And so these communication issues do tend to be the problem with Justice. They're not really rearing their heads so much in this match, though. Having said that, Vancouver have a good opportunity now to keep this snowball going. Wolf getting up to another Transcendence. Okay.
That's good. Straight up, there you go, the EMP. Yeah, EMP in close quarters. Dalton was in position. Decado, he's answering back. That's a pulse bomb straight into the kill into Rolf as well. He's got Chansik in his sights. Chansik just trying to roll straight through them, but the tracking is great. Backed up health pack, he's going to have to receive a bit of healing from elsewhere. A nice attempt on the Vancouver Titans, but I guess the positioning where they were taking that team fight was so deep in the tunnels that it just made them susceptible when they were just pulled all the way forwards.
And look at this counterplay by Decay. He doesn't really have anyone else on the team that he's setting this up with. It's just him, 1v2 against the supports. Fire jumps on top of it like he's trying to save Rolf from the grenade.
Yeah, it truly is just
down the Zeph.
Decay with the Zug brute force performance.
Yeah.
Just finding opportunities. Dragging the team over the finish line here. Mag, you can see him trying to set up something in the back line. But the team just seems to be winning it. I mean, they were losing a team fight, but no one's contesting.
The team fight is happening on checkpoint C here. A little strange. There's a pile driver limb, but it's from Mag. I haven't been keeping track of it, though. I don't know whether Changsik has got one in the meantime, but we'll get the updates to you. I don't think it's happened yet. But yeah, the Titans are just getting swept away right now. 3-minute time bank. This is the most difficult area of the map to push, but the Titans' defense has not been particularly solid. Decay's been able to run through the back line, overwhelm Dalton, just bully his way through. And when Decay can do that, what need do you have for excellent team coordination? Here comes Assassin, another EMP.
Almost a good shield bash there from Fire, just off the mark, ever so slightly, but the Justice this time, they're in position to follow up on the EMP. 2 kills going their way, yeah. Finally see some signs of life actually out of it as well. And that coordination is what was missing from the Justice. The initiative to be taken when they're on the attacking side of things. Clearly trying to switch things up and improve upon some of the mistakes they've been making. Still, the Vancouver Titans are back into this one now with the rally engage. See a later rally though by Chuba. Post bomb, that's a stick from Dalton, but only onto the tanks. Fury going to be eating that one up. Healthy enough with the EMP. They need to try and get that DMEC. They will get it. Bebe also hacked up for the moment, but has that rally armor to keep him healthy. Looking for a little bit more. You can see Lynx is just combing, seeing if he can hunt down one of the targets, gets the neutral hack off, but that's going to be the Transcendence now. Self-destruct on the cart, pushing them all the way to Justice, struggling to coordinate and find a singular target. Multiple team fights taking place all over the bloody place, but they're still getting the better of it.
They are. Assassin ran into the backline and just 1v2'd Wolf and Fire again. Wolf and Fire are having a really tough time staying alive. Wolf with the trans, going to try and block the objective, blown away by the self-destruct, but he has bought time.
Yep, still back onto this one. Chansik rolling forwards, but immediately blown up. Just the damage is way too much with the Discord Orb on them. Rolf just needs to try and stay alive as all this is going on. Dalton trades 1 for 1. A bit of a spawn advantage for them now. The Justice could get chewed up here. Could get stopped just shy of the mark, but they've got to do their best to try and finalize these kills. Tried the Reinhardt as well, just trying to stay alive. He's been around for quite some time, and that will be the eventual push. 1 minute 13 seconds the Justice are going to claim at the end of it.
A stellar offense, and all of the issues that the Justice has previously had in this stage for the Countdown Cup appear to have flown out the window. Decay's been able to have huge impact, and he's got follow-up from the rest of his team at times, but it's not like he's been shut down by any means. Michelle is not in the server, like Jonathan reminded us. And also, Assassin's been able to get some good EMPs off. He's also been able to pressure the backline effectively, where you saw him just being so scared of attacking backlines in the past. And alright, Wolf and Fire are not the best we have in the league, but they're just kind of getting run over right now. You'd expect them to put up more resilience against a solo Tracer or a solo Sombra.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced yet that the Justice are coordinating better and like approaching this with a better strategy and team play, but the brute strength just seems enough to be able to overpower the Titans right now.
It seems like brute force to me personally. I'm looking at like essentially they're not syncing anything up. It's Assassin and Decay individually. Sometimes they sync up stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's not that it's been missing the entire game, but a large portion of their opportunities that have been gained by Washington has been Decay 1v2ing, Assassin 1v2ing. And typically the backline of the Titans just kind of falling over against it. Not really putting up much of a defense.
Well, now we get to see the Justice defending. They're normally better on defense, at least they have been recently, but this series seems to be flipping expectations a little bit if you'd only been watching the Justice during the Countdown Cup. I mean, having said that, the Vancouver Titans themselves, only the recent recipients of their first win of the season. Going to try and escort this backline up top through the tunnel. See if they can get angles, put Discord Orb on Fury, pressure him out there, set up a nice position for Rolf to get a sightline.
And if you're not going to win through brute force in terms of like mechanically matching up, you need to have the coordination. You need to be coordinating up power drives. Chansik and Dalton need to be just coming together. The Discord Orbs need to be on the right targets. The backline needs to be defended. The whole team needs to really come alive.
Well, there we go.
To try and battle against this. Yeah, and Fury gets DMAC. It's a good start.
Yeah, hacked and discorded. The backline just crumbles again. The backline is obviously a crucial target, right? So it's not that Rolf and Fire are making mistakes with their positioning in a lot of these scenarios, but the Justice's strategy is to bully Rolf and Fire as they're rotating into good positions. And here you see, just as they're trying to take the avenue underneath Big Earls, they really want to be... That is one of the areas where they're perhaps a very poorly positioned, because I'd like to see them swing out a little further towards the ramp there, where they can get sightlines up on the high ground. Been watching a lot of Philadelphia Fusion VODs. Alarm and Funny Astro's positioning is superb in this meta.
Yeah, another team that hopefully, I mean, a lot of Fusion fans hoping they're going to come alive towards the end. Sure. It would be quite entertaining. They've had a rough time with things, honestly. Chansik going down there. Decanes are committing the pulse bomb. It doesn't actually get anything, but it does push them back towards the rest of the team, and they can just collapse onto them now. Only 2 minutes for the Vancouver Titans to try and create something. They do have the EMP that's coming up, along with Dalton's pulse bomb, so opportunities to try and make it work.
And again, that's a ton of pressure happening onto Rolf and Fire as they're rotating around the back corner of Big Earls. So they need Changsik, Dalton, Fried to actually put some offensive pressure on so that the Justice don't have all of this space to just crush their backline. You need to create some distraction for Rolf and Fire to get into a good position. You can't just try and have 6 people peeling for them. You just give too much space to the Justice.
Transcendence on the line. Changsik with the power drive. There's the EMP as well. Dalton. Kill onto Tuba. Great way to set things up here.
Yeah, and now their backline has gone for... The backline's gone for a totally different rotation. You see how Rolf and Fire are positioned up on the top left. Now Fire has got to keep Rolf alive, and he does a good job of it this time around.
That's a classic Assassin solo EMP, just trying to take on the world there. And it was good defending from the back line. The Vancouver Titans still staying in this one. They didn't lose too many of their players. They can absolutely break through this defense now.
Hello.
Post bomb. That's going to be whiffing right off to the side. This will be an inevitable capture here. And the Justice. Okay, well, they had a lot of opportunities there, but again, there was no coordination for Assassin's EMP.
That's absolutely true, but I do want to give a bit of credit to Titans as well, trying something different. They have the last 3 team fights, they tried to rotate their backline on the bottom right underneath Big Earls and try and take that ramp. This time around, they went through the cave and took the top left instead. And the Justice didn't respond to it, didn't make a mid-fight adaptation.
You can tell Dalton wants to go for something. He's got the Discord all marking him though, which gives him a lot of vision, baby, pushed out. That's Dalton as well, just hunting him down, pushing him into the positioning of that self-destruct, and they've set it up. The Vancouver Titans showing a bit of the signs what got them their first win. Being able to coordinate those plays with the self-destructs was quite tasty in the past.
Yeah, that was a really nice version of it there. Lynx got the hack on Tuba as well that just set Dalton up for a kill. Didn't even have to use his pulse. If Dalton finds a good opportunity for a pulse now onto Bebe or Tuba, that could be huge. Look at him skulking around the back here.
Yeah, they have no idea where he is. That's no shield bash, but that's wonderful by Fury. Lynx falls as well. Just the presence of mind from Fury as well, protecting their backline. Too good, too good. Unable to really find that one. Could have been a huge pick for them. They've taken a ton of damage, so Decay needs to play for a couple of heals. Backing off around the corner. Assassin goes down. It's the 1-for-1, but Chansik's missing now from the Vancouver Titans. They don't have the Wrecking Ball to really just open things up for them. That post bomb, though, that's beautiful. Just going to be cleaving and bursting right through that Transcendence healing. Not enough.
Yeah, that's pretty enormous. Lynx are getting pressured here as well. Has to leave. EMP used.
Assassin?
I mean, I'm gonna give Assassin the benefit of the doubt there that it was probably onto Rolf as he died. I don't have a clue though. That's another one of those head scratches from Assassin, because you had already won the team fight. You've pushed away the Sombra. You've already killed the ball. You're about to kill the Zen. What is the need for that EMP? You've opened the door for the Titans to come back in. Lynxer is licking his chops right now. There's nothing that can stop him.
Yeah, the Vancouver Titans just need to show a bit of that coordination that they've had in the past. It's a long flank approach. This is good from the Washington Justice, though. Actually seeing a proactive play. Yeah, they're taking the initiative, actually, on the defense here. South Destruct comes in.
But Lynxer has to not use this. Oh, I'm not sure they have the follow-up with Changsik dead. Can anyone else end up getting an advantage in the team fight? Yeah, they've burnt down Mag. Okay, that's a huge opening for them. Oh, that is on a knife's edge.
Changsik got back into the fight pretty quickly on the Wrecking Ball, but that was risky to try and go off the back of that one. They forced the K back as well. He has to play with the rest of the team now. Power Drive comes in. I think that's going to be connecting. Pulse Bomb, though, that is good. Onto Tuba, laid down. I don't think that was even a stick, but it got the remake as well. Decay just standing still. Oh my goodness, Dalton. All right, just pulling out all the stops, and that's going to be some time on the bank. Vancouver Titans now pushing into checkpoint C. They have been gifted this one, honestly, as well. Off the back of this, I'm not going to completely downplay it. It has been pretty good from them. They've been coordinating up nicely. A lot of plays coming out.
Yeah, offensively, they've looked decent, but there's been some big questions about the Justice in terms of their B defense there, especially with eyes looking towards Assassin, who is building up towards another EMP. Rolf has Trance. A hack on that would be enormous. Decay just responds with the pulse, and Rolf doesn't want to use it. If you use your Transcendence there to try and keep the team fight alive, Assassin has a free EMP, a free MP.
60 seconds.
Frem. Nice Frem.
Frem, yeah. Hopefully not a memp. We don't want to see any more memps.
No more memps, please.
Yeah, please, no more memps.
Assassin.
A lot of damage onto Assassin. He's on 1 health. What is going on here? Link's just spraying him down. What is occurring in Narnia? What's happening here?
Link's must have broken. He must have broken the translocator, surely, and taken the 1v1 fight. They know that Assassin has EMP, so that is a crucial find.
Good play by Linkser if that's the case. The Vancouver Titans now. Time rolling deep into checkpoint C. Ultimates almost online for them. Assassin, they notice EMP is online. A lot of spamming. You can see Dalton just checking every single angle that he could be coming from here. It's crucial that they mitigate this EMP.
Here he comes.
And he's hunting him
Knows
down,
where
yeah.
Rolf is.
Rolf's just trying to hide around the corner. Okay, just scares him into using the Transcendence. Didn't even go for the EMP. I mean, it's a safer play, but now it's going to be basically a free EMP. Comes down, connects onto them. Power Driver into the back. A bit of disjointed play, but the Justice have got the pick. Chancik goes down. Now to counter EMP. Linkser lets it go. Dalton with the pulse bomb comes through, but Bebe gets the kill anyway. Still winnable here for the Vancouver Titans, but they got to pull out everything. The Justice are coming back in with the spawners. The DPS players are coming back in as well. Assassin's still alive. Just needs to try and survive. Translocator to try and dodge this one. He does dodge it. Has to try and touch this one. Straight back into spawn. The Self-Destruct was good to clear them away. Chancik, though, still alive. And we see the rally from Chuba as he's coming back out of the spawn, giving his team the necessary heals they need to just really stop them just short. A tragic finish here for the Vancouver Titans. They're unable to keep this one going in the overtime. So the Justice are going to be taking map number 2.
It looked so good for the Titans there in those final moments, and you can see the disappointment on their faces. That's the unfortunate part, Brent, of starting to have hope, is that it can be crushed. And this match is looking a little like it. The Justice have quite firmly quashed any doubts that they would be going on a 4-match loss streak here in the Countdown Cup. Up 2-0 in this, they're going to require a reverse sweep from the Titans.
Yeah, it's going to require just absolute magic on the Titan side of things, but anything is possible if you believe in the carbohydrates, and I certainly do. We're going to be going to a short break. On the other side of things, of course, we're going to be seeing how this series is going to be continuing or concluding. So you don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Double kill. Ever get that feeling?
Well, my 3-1 prediction is looking like it might be a little bit off today, but still Overwatch left to be played, and that map was definitely much better than the first one, like much closer. I will say it's pretty obvious, I think, what the two biggest issues are right now with Vancouver, at least to me it is. It definitely looks like Changsik either just is not in sync with the team, or just Washington's doing a very good job shutting him down, because he's getting very little value on the Hammond pick. And going into Hanamura, I would like to see the Orisa pick or something else. I think Hammond can be okay on Hanamura, especially on like attack, but it just really hasn't been working, and it's very obvious from watching that he's not getting near as much value as he did on Friday. And I'm not, like, obviously he had a great performance on Friday, but I feel like that might have been a little bit of an anomaly, because he's admitted that Hammond is like his least favorite pick, or his least comfortable one. So even though he had a really good performance on it on Friday, I think this match is showing a little bit why he's a little uncomfortable on it, because Washington is definitely shutting him down pretty well on it. And then it definitely looks like Bebe is farming on Zen. Not that Rolf was doing bad, but Bebe is the amount of like kills he's getting, double kills, is a difference maker in some of these fights. I also would like to see Rolf maybe hang on to some of these tranks when he's just getting forced from the hack from Assassin. It's obvious that Assassin is trying to like play the mind game of like faking him out and forcing that trank, and then he's just saving the EMP, and then EMPing once the trank is gone. I think in that last situation on Route 66, he was in a very safe spot where even if he got hacked there, I don't think there's any way that Washington would have been able to kill him there. I think in those sort of situations, you have to risk like and hold your trank and trust that your team will save you even if you get hacked. So But then again, it's a very fine line, and I'm not like blaming Rolf for that. Like it's especially in the heat of the moment, it's very hard to know if you're safe or not there. But ultimately, when you get your Trank Force like that, though, literally all you're using it for is just to live. Like they didn't really get any kills with it. I think the rest of the team was already like full health, so they didn't really heal with it. He just used it so he didn't get hacked and killed. And yeah, that's good, but you're not going to win many fights if all your Tranks are getting forced just by a Sombra hacking you. So those to me were the two biggest things I saw. Dalton is still beasting. Linkser had some pretty good Sombra play. Fried Wiener, I didn't notice him much. That means normally he's doing a good job. If you don't notice the Diva, it normally means they're doing a decent job. And Fire, again, I didn't notice him much either, but definitely a bit on the Zen play. Bebe just seems like he's having quite a bigger impact overall than Rolf. And then really the Hammond play also. Mag seems like he's doing a pretty good job on Hammond. And again, not that like Chang 6 Hammond's bad or anything, but he just hasn't had an impact this match. And going to Hanamura, a map that's 2 CP and plays very different, I think this is where I want to see the Orisa played again. But definitely still winnable. I think Linkser could, well, let's see, Hanamura here. I think they brought in Teru last time, and I expected him to play Mei, and then he played Pharah here. So I don't know who's going to play on this map. Personally, I would like to see the Linkser Sombra still. I thought he was doing pretty good. And honestly, I thought he was doing more than Assassin. Assassin Sombra has always been questionable, I've thought. His EMP usage is very questionable again. But, okay, it does sound like Teru is back in. So I expect to see... I think he played Pharah on this last time. So even though Hanamura is like one of the best Mei maps, it looks like on attack they have some sort of Pharah setup on it. So I expect to see him on that. But looks like the player's already sitting back down. So I think we're getting close to the breadsticks. I think they completed another thing there. I also have a couple codes to put in chat here for the for the player skins. I'll put them in chat literally right now. Let me put it right now because that match is about to start. So I'm going to put these 2 codes here. I have a few more for after this match is over. So stick around. Even if they lose this map, we'll have more codes. Hopefully we go to map 4 here, make it map 5, bring it back and win it. But if not, we'll have more codes after this, and I will see you after Hanamura. Or wait, are we on Anubis? Ah! Okay, listen. Take back everything I just said. We're on Anubis. Who knows what's being played there? Different map. I'll be back after Anubis.
Work so far in the series, up 2-0. The Titans are not out of it yet, though.
Of course.
They certainly have not looked... They haven't looked like they've had that many opportunities to win the map so far, but on Route 66... they were close. That final team fight, if they're able to complete it and they go around the second time, maybe they can adjust some things and come out with a victory. It's the problem for me, though, in trying to find the victory path for the Titans is that here on Anubis, it's again just Mag and Decay. Mag can play Winston, Decay's on Tracer, and they should be able to have enormous impact. We just watched the Dallas Fuel play this map against Atlanta, and Sparkle and Fearless went crazy. I think that this is going to be a real challenge for the Titans to get back in this series.
It's difficult as well. When some of the best looks that we've seen from the Titans have revolved around a lot of the Wrecking Ball play, it's going to be hard. Terry obviously playing close here, just trying to build up the EMP. He's getting a bit of that spam damage and is going to return with the rest of his team. But yeah, ultimately we're seeing mirror compositions from both these teams. All about the ultimates, all about that rotation, the EMPs, the primals, the nano boosts. Trying to build up and take damage without actually losing your life is the real challenge of these compositions, I think, as well, to build up those ultimates.
Yeah, you can see both nanos sat around the 50% mark as teams just poking and prodding. Decay's found his way into the back.
Yeah, he's just jumped straight in. And he's killed the Translocator. And now he's going to start playing a point. This is going to pull attention from the Vancouver Titans back towards the point. They either choose to ignore it or go in. The Washington Justice, though, that's a massive Bionade from Rolf. Any sort of follow-up going for it. Decay has to back off. Does not have the recall. 50 health, has to return to the rest of his team. Now we see the nano boost on both of the Winston players. A sleep dart misses. That would have been great if it connected onto Mag just to lock him up, but the stun might be good enough. Yes, indeed it is. They chase him down. Mag not going to be getting anything done with this one. Chansek also surviving. Bit of an attempt now being made to try and turn this one, as Decay did commit that pulse bomb into it, but Dalton's got one of his own. Doesn't need it though. Chasing down the back line, the recoil's going to be used here. Finally going to be offloading it to get the D-Mech onto Fury. The Vancouver Titans on the defense. A great attempt.
Yeah, they've been doing well so far. You can see how much the Justice are relying on Decay. He manages to zip through the back, create a distraction, play the point, kill the Translocator. Now he's just won a 1v1 against Dalton, who overstepped himself a little. I mean, calling it a 1v1, not quite accurate, as the rest of the Justice team was all right there. Assassin, that's a huge EMP.
Yes, a great EMP. Where is the follow-up now? Need to get something done. What is Rolf? It's Decay just finding that kill, essentially, with the hack as well. Nothing to really threaten him with the Bionade or anything else, but Decay, I think, is the only thing they're relying on right now. The spearhead and the spear handle, I suppose. He's just a full weapon. He's just trying to go for everything. They're letting him loose. You have an EMP, just go wild, I guess.
Yeah, he definitely has resources, sure, that the rest of the team gives him. But in that team fight, I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking here, Brent. But the Washington Justice, after they use the EMP, Mag goes in one direction, Decay goes in another, and Fury goes in a third different direction. It doesn't seem like they're performing an incredible ballet when they're attacking in terms of their coordination. It is still pretty scrappy, but they're making it work. The Titans, we have seen aggressive defenses on Anubis be so effective. That's what Teru was going for.
They scouted him though. They know that that's a window of opportunity. They're not going to be going for an aggressive EMP. What a stick! Rolf's gone the fadeaway off to the side, the tiniest of angles for it. The EMP's committed anyway. Teru knows they need to try and turn this one. Nano boost now on Mag. Yeah, I mean, he gets to chase down there onto Fried. Honestly,
oh yeah, sorry, I mean the EMP. I mean the EMP got
right.
Mag got the Nano, they popped Rally as well, the Justice absorbed it, but Mag goes down before getting the Primal. Is that going to hurt them?
Possibly. Nano boost committed onto Dalton. EMP doesn't connect onto Dalton. Dodged it around the pillar. Is that a zero-man EMP? Didn't find the mark. Assassin now being pressured there.
Not the Assassin Mem.
No, now, not here. 2 ticks for them. Self-destruct from Fried as well, just to push them away. I have no idea how that got Bebe. I mean, that was just...
Pile driver. Changsik came in from around the side and got the pile driver to stun them all in the air. That was actually some pretty good coordination from the Titans tanks.
The setup was there. 2 ticks for the Justice is what they gained from it. Changsik also switching back to the Winston as well. What is Justice going to do here? They do have the Primal Rage onto Mag to try and create some space and openings as well. Looking at Decay with this pulse bomb. I mean, they have relied on him so much. He's actually blinked in without notifying them because he just hopped over the point, so he didn't contest it at all. Now he's going to start to pull them back.
No way.
He's going to get a back cap.
Who's that?
Okay, they're pulled back to try and contest this. I think Mag may have actually assisted by pushing them back on with the Primal Rage. I'm not too sure.
Well, that's a very weird scenario. Teru's so far ahead in EMP charge, they could opt to play aggressive here. EMP, Nano, all available. The Nano onto Changsik would be devastating. Also build up another Primal. Titans have options, but they're not really posturing that aggressively.
Yeah, it's definitely waiting around. Mag now with the Nano boost though. Into the backline. Nice coordination with Decay. Actually syncing that one up in a pulse bomb as well. I mean, that's just flexing at that point. Probably getting that kill anyway. EMP will mean that Fried unable to really do much here. This is looking like an inevitable capture.
Certainly is. Good execution from the Justice, and that's why we normally see teams play aggressive on defense. You don't want to give the opponents that much space. If you give Justice time and space, they look like a top-level team. It's only when they're pressured and harassed where the mistakes start to showcase the cracks in the armor. That's another good attack. Every map so far has had the Justice on offense looking clean.
Initiating match.
Yeah, which is the major thing that we were criticizing them for. It's the main reason why a lot of people were predicting the Titans off the back of their win as well, is that it was looking like the Titans were, at part, potentially the better team. Yeah, it seems like the Justice have clearly spotted at least part of the weakness. And this honestly is quite typical for every tournament cycle of the Justice. It feels like they do heat up towards the end of it. This time, a little bit too late, obviously. Yeah, they do tend to just come alive a little bit towards the end of the tournament cycle. They discover how a meta or where part of their issues are really lying and how to approach them and solve them.
Yeah, but it does often happen too late for them to be able to get into the stage finals. The Countdown Cup is off the charts right now. The Justice are not going to be going to the Countdown Cup, and that means that what are they playing for? Well, they're in the play-ins is what they're going for, seeing if they can get towards that championship, but they would have to be dramatic improvements. One win over the Titans here today is not going to convince me that the Justice don't have a lot more work to do. Okay, let's see what the attack from the Titans looks like.
Yeah, we'll see with their composition here.
I'm disappointed that Chansik is not on ball.
Yeah, the Chansik ball is one of the shining lights, I think, actually, for the Titans and how they sync up with
about the pile driver element.
Ah, well, that's also a disappointment. I don't know if they've obtained it yet. Big Bionade from Bebe. That's a 3. That's going to push them back. But yeah, I'm not sure. Do they have the breadstick? Have they achieved?
I don't believe they have.
I'll have to double check. I like how I said dreadstick as well. The singular breadstick.
Singular.
Split between the masses of Canada.
Chansik has taken a Bionade here. Can't get any healing. Okay, Rolf just in time. And Decay has also fallen. Probably a hack there, though
nice,
I didn't catch
honestly.
it.
This
now
is
Rolf
real
has
nice.
nano.
Baiting in the aggression coming through. Rolf does have the nano boost. Does he want to try and use it now? Look at the pressure into the backline. You've got to try and heal up fire, but falling so low there. Had the Bionade applied to him, so couldn't get the heals. Now the nano boost comes in. Great whip shot. Pushes him back. Counter engage comes through, and the EMP to Justice. They're coming back in. Biting right down onto them. Decay with the 2 pieces. Make it 3. He wants to go for the 4. Has to recall away, though. Got to respect the shield bash at the end of the day.
That's gorgeous, though. The coordination there from the Justice was top tier. They just allowed the Titans to push towards them with that nano. Whip shot from Tuba stops that spacing. And look at this response. Let's watch the replay from Decay's point of view.
Yeah.
Assassin just gets EMP and uses it immediately. The timing is so good. Nano onto Mag and Decay just cleans everything up. That's the kind of team fight you want to see from the Justice more often.
And most importantly as well, they were under pressure the entire time. That's usually when you see the biggest mistakes out of the Justice, when they're not making those type of plays. We are seeing them slowly evolve. At the tail end of the Countdown Cup, Engage comes into the back there. Terror uses the EMP. Catches onto Tuba and Fury, but the Engage is already there. Dalton trying to turn it. The Pulse Bomb not going to be finding anyone. And the Justice with all the kills necessary to just close out that attack attempt of the Titans.
Yeah, this has really been the Decay show. When you think about Vancouver's 3-0 win over Boston, their first of the season, Dalton came alive in that series. He was, in certain fights, just putting the Titans on his back. He started this series pretty well, got that double pulse bomb in, but he's been pretty quiet since then. He is going to have to pop off in these next couple of team fights.
Oh, there's a nano boost. Mag just drops down onto them as well. Sleep down onto Chansik. That's going to be the nano and the primal. Essentially wasted. Completely taken out of the fight. A hack onto Mag. He did return back to the rest of the team, but Chansik, yeah, I mean, what a huge play from Bebe.
Bebe's purple towards the back. Decay has gone in a little too high.
EMP, no follow-up from this, surely. No one's actually here. Into the back line. That was, I think, a sleep down onto Bebe, locking him up. Dalton with the post bomb as well. The Vancouver Titans can absolutely come back into this one. What a weird series of events there. The Justice looking like they were in prime position to just get that full hold. The completion. There's for the taking, but a couple of slapdash ultimates just thrown out by the Justice without the necessary players.
And they've let that defense slip through their fingers. Decay does try to do a little too much, I think, for this team at times, but can you blame him when you see the value he's been able to get on a regular basis? It's very strange. Prime candidate potentially, though, for the Ewing effect. The Justice. Here he comes.
Pulse bomb off to the side.
Nearly blew himself up.
Comes through, and yeah, Terror ends up going down in the back line as well there. Building up this nano boost. Bebe does have it, but no pressure on the Justice to use it here. Probably going to be looking to try and get another forward. I would hope at least a bit of a forward hold of this defense. The nano boost to try and pressure out this EMP onto Terror would be a great way to pull some of the ultimates out of Vancouver Titans when they are getting set up right now. There's the nano boost onto Mag. Bashed up. That's Dalton though in the back line with that pulse bomb and bit. Okay, Mag has to use this primal rage just to stay alive with the Bionade applied to him. He couldn't get healed up. Has to back off to the team. Decay goes down as well. This is the Titans' time to shine, and they still have ultimates to burn.
The nano goes onto Dalton here. I'm not sure whether that was intended. Changsik's about to get up to his primal as well. They're bullying people up the point, and there's the first tick.
He can't do anything with that nano boost. I mean, Chansik does have the primal built up, so maybe that was the logic behind it, but Decay's back in with Fried going down. Chansik has to try and get something big with this one. Chopping and changing across the point, just trying to find a target or two already.
Who's
up to
there
three.
to touch?
Is anybody going to be able to touch this? That was almost a Charlie Niner. A classic affair if we've ever seen one. Decado still in it. Has the pulse bomb dropped down into the back. Not connecting. Chansik still up and alive. Getting a couple of picks for them, but the Titans just don't have the firing power. Going to be going down to the eventual spawners here of the Justice. The Justice were so close to losing that.
3% away. But it felt like milliseconds from slipping out of their control. And that attempt at an aggressive defense was horribly executed from the Justice. Really good response from Titans, in particular Fire popping off his rally and peeling for Rolf effectively. And now the Titans have an opportunity. They can try and come back in here with EMP, with Nano. The Justice want to jump aggressive again? It almost looks like they're posturing for it with Mag. Here they go.
Yeah, there we go. Nano off to the side, cuts across. He's found the angle. Nice boops though, but he ends up wasting the sleep dart. Mag, 5% away from this primal rage, and that is what he's looking for here. And you can see the pressure they're trying to put onto Teru as well. There we go. Bionade onto Mag as well, just battering them into the corner. Mag has found one of his targets. Can he get the kill? Not quite. Fire is healthy. The primal doesn't really get too much done. Now ultimates from the Titans. They have the rally to try and push past through the main choke point. Decay holding onto the pulse, lays it down off onto the side, won't get any sort of connection, but does a bit of damage. Dalton's turn now to return a bit of fire. Not getting anything, they pour. They didn't connect onto the point, they didn't touch.
I like the jingle at the very least. And these aggro defenses are pretty atrocious from the Justice. Their game plan, Bren, is for Assassin to get into the Titans backline and hack Rolf so that he can't use the Nano or the Bionade to heal himself up. The idea there being that the Ana will be an easy dive target for Mag when he's Nano boosted. In theory, makes sense. But the rest of the Justice don't commit properly, and Decay isn't shooting the same targets as Mag. And so you get this horrible scenario where Justice still have a passive backline. They don't have Bionades in there. They just have one nanoed Winston. It's this messy compromise between being safely surrounded by the comforting walls of Checkpoint B on Anubis and then trying to actually go aggressive. And it's just nonsense. It's a compromise that hurts both ideas. Decay can't get on the point towards the end there either. And the Justice have allowed a window for the Titans to get back into this game.
A window that they can absolutely take here. With a minute on the clock now. It's kind of difficult for them to try and find their footing. And a minute isn't a lot of time. But it is doable. See him trying to get him for free. Sleeves out onto Fried. That's not ideal. The bubble's laid down just to block and eat up a ton of that damage, but Chansik's not going to have that for the engagement, so they're being pushed off. Down to the final 35 seconds of this push attempt. Now they're going to try and put pressure onto them, so trying to take control of this top platform that you can see them jumping onto, but that's a hack onto Fried, and that should be a D-Mech.
Decay.
Indeed. Still, Decay goes down. Maybe being set up there. Nice defense, actually. Fire with the shield placement. 17 seconds left now for them to try and get some pressure onto the point. It's going to be probably an overtime push by the time they actually get onto this. What a Bionade. Fire and Chansik. They can't even touch, by the way. Nobody's actually putting any pressure onto this one. It might be all onto Dalton. 3 seconds remaining. Is anybody going to be able to touch this one? Finally, they do in the last possible moment. It has to be Dalton, but they've already lost too many players. It was such a good start for the Titans. With Decay missing, it was the exact opening they needed, yet they weren't able to capitalize.
It's an EMP at the end from Teru. Catches 5, but there's no chance that that is good enough. Heartbreak for Titans. Best they can do here is a draw. That really did look like a great opportunity. I'm right with you, Brent. Assassin and Bebe were closer to their ultimates, so even if that fight goes long, maybe it gets turned around by Justice with a nano and an EMP. But Titans didn't even push the Justice to the edge. They couldn't take the space once they got the pick on Decay. Dalton was asleep, and the Titans got stalled a little, and then as they tried to push forwards, Bebe hit a Bionade, and it just all snarled up the offensive movement of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Now they've got to hold for 2 minutes and 11 seconds in order to force us onto the next map. That would be King's Row as well.
God, brutal. Brutal for them.
Attackers incoming.
Brutal but doable, in a weird way. I can definitely see it. I've got my telescope out. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Can you see the draw? If
can
you
see
remember
it,
what happened
yeah.
last time, when the Justice were attacking, they got Decay all the way around the back. They were trying to apply point pressure with Decay, seeing if he could get picks in the back line, break the translocator coming out from Teru, that kind of stuff.
4, 3,
But the Justice ended up just cracking it through by
attackers incoming.
getting in the front door eventually with their ultimates.
Well, here we go. 2 minutes for the Justice to get a single tick, and that's going to close out this series. The Vancouver Titans, they need this draw to continue it, to try and keep that dream of the reverse sweep alive. Damage being done. Decay already forced out of that one. Oh, that's a... the traded sleep out. The sleeping tracers all over the place, but the Justice, oh, they're the ones that get the kills first. Woken up, just couldn't capitalize off of it in time. And one by one, the Titans topple over. Looking more like a field mouse than a Titan at the moment, but that's the Justice at the end of the day, getting the third map under their belt, and that's the series as well, as GGs in the chat are exchanged.
And there's the Justice coming out with a response. People were doubting them with good reason after a 9-map loss streak. But the Justice fire back, proving that they are not the weakest team in the West right now, despite the fact that they technically were heading into this game. They put Vancouver to bed. It was a short stint of a winning streak, if you can put it like that. Vancouver getting 1 and 12. But the good part here for the Titans, Bren, is that they have managed to achieve back-to-back breadsticks. So they have that going for them. They did manage to get it with, I think it was 15 final blows via melee kills, and then also FRD got a Pilot Diva elimination, something like
Back to
that.
back.
Anyway, listen, do we care how it happens? Don't get the pizza lawyers involved. Just breadsticks have been achieved.
I suppose, I mean, that's the commonality. Them and the San Francisco Shock, back-to-back champions, you know, when it comes to the breadsticks and Overwatch League.
We got breadsticks. We got breadsticks. Hey, something to be happy about at least. Really, maybe I was getting a little too excited after that Friday match, but hey, 1 out of 2 for the weekend. We'll take that here gladly. Washington looked much better there. They look like the team that people expected Washington to be. I don't know why Terry was in on Anubis when they just ran Sombra for almost all of it. I think Linkser just looked better on Sombra than Terry did, but oh well. At that point, you know, they were already looking like they were in a rough spot down 2-0, so maybe they just wanted to try something different. But unfortunately, Vancouver falls 3-0 to Washington Justice in really what wasn't a super close series, but oh well, matches like that are going to happen. And again, considering their win on Friday, I would say the players should still be happy about overall on the weekend. I'm sure they would have liked to win this match or have a better showing, but it's okay still. Yeah, Decay's a beast. You can only do so much, but Dalton still looked really good on Tracer too. Like, yeah, Decay was amazing, but Dalton also had a lot of good pulse bomb plays and everything else like that. But not much else to say about this one. A pretty clean and cut match. So I have a few more codes to give out. Update on the breadstick situation. The code might be having slight technical difficulties right now where it might not be active yet, but there should be an update on the Vancouver Titans Twitter when it is and what the code is if it's changed. So if you are hungry for those free breadsticks later and you live in Canada, you can just go make sure you follow Vancouver Titans Twitter, look for updates there, and it should be working sometime within the next day, I imagine at most, but there'll be an update there that'll have the information. So I got a few more codes to give out here also for the skins. 3 more to give out. People are always fast collecting them, so I'll give you guys a couple seconds to get them ready to enter. All right, it's been a couple seconds. here's the first one. And yeah, make sure it's on live chat. If you have it on set to top chat, sometimes the codes don't show up. So people should know now. So here's the first one. We're coming in. Boom. Second one right here. And a third one right here. Are matches next week, or is there a break? Production? Okay, matches are back next week. You know, it's Friday or Saturday, the first one. Friday and Saturday, it sounds like they are. So I will be back on Friday with. Is this the final week coming up also of matches? The final week of the regular season. And I believe also the Saturday match, Vancouver's having a special viewing party up in Vancouver for it. That sounds pretty cool. But we'll be back for that next weekend. And unfortunately, Vancouver does not win today. But hey, we get the breadsticks still. So I will see everyone next Friday. Have a good one.